Hi everyone, Charles from the Food People here. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Back today for the 11th episode in our 12-part series, looking at the longer-term shifts in food and drink in the COVID era through the lens of our annual trends framework. In this episode, we look at cultural exchange that sits as part of the wider social trend, cultural creativity, a wider cultural movement centered around openness, creativity, and celebrating each other. Through collaboration and engagement with other people, we can discover new and different ways of thinking and working, and of course eating. In other words, openness and creativity can stimulate our minds as well as our taste buds. Travel as we knew it may well be impeded at the moment, but our appetite for cultural discovery, travel, and learning new things is stronger than ever. Indeed, the lines between education and entertainment grow ever more blurred, and now, having had the time to reflect, self-educate, and cook even more, consumers are taking to the digital space to learn the craft behind food, cultural dishes, and products. And in this trying time, sharing is caring has become the mantra. Across the food and drink industry, people, consumers, and experts alike are sharing their knowledge, expertise, and even their secret recipes. It's very much about coming together. So let's start with craft collaboration. Collaborating has long been a core principle of the food industry, particularly within food service, where chefs collaborate, share skills, and learn from one another, which drives the evolution of the craft and innovation. For many craftsmen, collaborating is all about making their craft more visible and better understood, whether this be with others in the industry or through sharing information with the consuming public. There are so many different ways and platforms through which to collaborate: limited edition products, pop-ups, social media campaigns, cookbooks, brand tie-ups, JV, and the list goes on from there. Over recent months, we've seen collaborations across the food spectrum, from fine dining, such as Phil Howard's Elstein Street has teamed up with Kitchen W8 and Church Road for a delivery service, through to street food, where London Pizza Slingers Yard Sale have teamed up with Kebab Institution for a mashup pizza special with sumac onion, Turkish cheese, garlic sauce, and lamb kofta. Who wouldn't enjoy that? But also the likes of IKEA and Pizza Hut collaborating to create a new pizza table box combo. Whilst collaborations such as live events and pop-up may well have been paused in the recent past due to the current crisis, ways to partner up and connect with each other is forever increasing. Social media and the digital space has become a huge part of our lives and is currently ever more important as a means of communication. Now we see it evolving into other forms of online interaction, becoming mainstream, from Instagram live sessions to virtual clubs for live events, and indeed anything in between. Collaboration isn't just about food businesses coming together, it's also about connecting at a deeper level with consumers to better understand the process of getting food from farm to fork. We've seen the food and drink industry go online with Q&A sessions, cook-alongs, masterclasses to promote their cause, whilst developing new long-lasting connections with butchers, bakers, cheesemakers, farmers, barmen, and baristas. There's an opportunity to collaborate with others, particularly where there is a shared purpose, cause, or audience for the greater good and mutual benefit. Then we have Tame the Flame. Live fire cooking may be an age-old technique, but it has undergone a renaissance in recent years. And we're not talking here about just American barbecue. Whether they're using wood, fire grill, plancha, the smoker, the asador, the mangle, the tandoor, or something else entirely, all manner of globally inspired chefs and restaurants have been harnessing the power of smoke and flame to take their dishes to the next level. There's no mistaking that it involves serious craftsmanship to get this spot on. Globally, the best chefs will experiment with sources of wood, with the likes of olive wood or chestnut wood, offering completely different flavors. Levels of heat in the fire, combining low and slow roast with a hard char over direct heat. Chef owner of Brat, Thomas Parry, spoke at our 2019 Trends event and said, and to quote him, "It's so important to pick your wood and charcoal carefully, as all variations give off a diverse flavor, scent, and burn very differently. We carefully select our wood by researching which variety complements the cooking and the heat that we require. It is very important that you know the ingredients of your fire." Thomas also touched on sustainability and said it's not just where you get your wood, but how you use that energy. Everything is done with the land and the environment in mind. Constantly questioning and challenging ourselves was his perspective. Even though restaurants have been closed in recent months and the pause button pressed on their missions, the ever popular art of fire cooking has carried on unabated. At home, garden barbecues have provided the perfect means for consumers to socialize within their permitted social bubbles, of course. And at the moment, it's home cooks cooks that have been flying the fire cooking flag, and whilst building their skills, they can be just as keen and adventurous as their professional counterparts when it comes to flavour, formats and twists. And we've seen everything from banh mi burgers, jerk chicken skewers, chicken shish, Thai hot dogs. But it's not all about the meat, but also vegetables, greens, bread and desserts, all getting a touch of the flame-licked action. There remains a significant opportunity in and around fire cooking and barbecue, from barbecue kits to barbecue-based chef collaborations with sauces, rubs, marinades, meat and bread, as well as expanding the repertoire to encompass the global flavour and format opportunity. Then we have edutainment. Rather than just eating, consumers have long been keen to connect with their food, to understand the farm-to-fork process involved in making it. A product is really set apart from the crowd when consumers understand the who, the time, the love, the craftsmanship that's gone into what they're eating. However, things are a little different now. With restaurants and bakeries having been closed, it's harder to make that connection. But that doesn't mean consumers' appetite for learning has disappeared. Cue, at this point, virtual initiatives where individuals and brands have allowed consumers to engage in their own homes to learn new skills or processes. From making hollandaise by Michelin star chef Thomas Keller to Wagamama's katsu curry and IKEA's iconic meatball. This is all about combining education with entertainment, which is also a great way to connect with loyal fans and customers whilst they're stuck at home. And as we've spoken about in previous articles, sharing is caring. Many people are providing free online content simply because it's the right thing to do. So the opportunity exists to maintain the momentum of a brand's presence in the home beyond the crisis. This will allow consumers to continually build on the skills learned and the appreciation of the process that lockdown has afforded, both in retail and out of home. Then we have generational exchange. As the pace of life has slowed down for some, there's been time for reflection, cooking, gardening. However, with uncertainty everywhere, it's become hard to plan ahead. And as a result, rather than hatch future plans, many people have found themselves using the lockdown period to look back and reflect. Cooking and eating has never played a more critical role in our lives, and in a bid to find comfort through nostalgia, many have found themselves digging up old family recipes or recreating childhood favourites. The social media feeds are flooded with retro recipes, dishes with historical concept and comfort that is just like grandma used to make. These nostalgic treats are everywhere. Consumers just can't seem to get enough of them, and restaurants and retailers alike are taking note. We're also seeing a plethora of products and dishes that are all about comfort, familiarity, history and sentiment, from 70s, 80s and 90s classics. Think Lambrusco, sherry, prawn cocktail, baked elastica and trifle are firmly back in style. Also things like chunky coarse pork pies, retro ice lollies, deep pan pizza and chocolate chip cookies. And it hasn't stopped there. Also one pot slow cooking, soda bread and cheesecake, all trending on Instagram feeds. And despite the unwinding of lockdown, the overriding consumer sentiment is around uncertainty, with particular regard to public health and the economy. As such, the notion of safety, security and comfort through food and drink will remain an opportunity for the foreseeable future. In this episode, we've highlighted the relevance and shifts that are likely to evolve and develop in the COVID era through the lens of cultural exchange. By considering these shifts and how you as a business, brand, startup or entrepreneur pivot and adapt in consideration of them will mean that you're well positioned to succeed in the COVID era in food and drink. In episode 12, our final episode in this series, we'll be looking at the social driver, cultural creativity, looking at the megatrend cultural transformation through the lens of COVID-19 and the longer term shifts that we expect to manifest. So join our TFP community for the details of episode 11, our recent special episodes and all of the latest food and drink trend foresight. Visit thefoodpeople.co.uk and complete your details at the footer of the page. In the meantime, stay safe and keep well, and we'll see you in episode 12. Thanks for listening.